coming on here today to talk about the Hello Posy Quilt Along. We have a little over 2 weeks before we begin. We start on August 3rd, and here is the quilt we're making. So this is Hello Posy, and Hello Posy is our 4th quilt in the book, Alive with Quilts. You will need a copy of the book to be able to participate in this quilt along, and you can find it at meanderingmake.com. So let's talk a little bit about the quilt, and then we'll move on to quilt along details. So the quilt is 60 by 60 inches square. It's beginner friendly. The only real skill that's used in making it is snowballing, and I'm going to walk you through that in a video tutorial. So I get asked every single time we have one of these quilt alongs, can a brand new quilter do it? And yes, it's a very simple quilt pattern, and we're going to walk you through it the whole way through. So let's talk about the fabrics for the quilt. The quilt uses 12 fat quarters and 1/4 yard. It might be easier for me to show it to you. The fat quarters are for the flower petals. The 1/4 yard is the very center. So that 1/4 yard will be repeated in every single one of these centers. So when I designed this quilt, I did specifically design it for a scrappy background. Each of these flowers are bordered. So it is designed to use a scrappy background, but if you don't want to, don't hesitate to do your own thing. You need 2 3/4 yards of background for this quilt. So 12 fat quarters, 1/4 yard, 2 3/4 yards of background. The quilt is also layer cake friendly. So in the pattern, in the book, there are instructions for if you wanted to gather your fabrics per block. And one piece of your layer cake, so one square within your layer cake would work for 1 block. You would need 25 pieces in your layer cake to be able to make this quilt, plus that 1/4 yard for the centers. So it's a really, really fun quilt to make. The reason I designed this quilt was just so I could quilt those flower shapes within each of the petals. That was my whole agenda behind making this quilt. And it was a tester's favorite too. When I had this pattern tested last year, this one kept coming up as everybody's favorite. All right, so let's start talking about the quilt along. The quilt along will last for 6 weeks. The first week, we're doing fabric choices, cutting our fabrics, and organization. Weeks 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all block making. In week 6, we sew all our blocks together for a finished quilt top. There'll be 5 weeks worth of giveaways, all but the last week. The giveaways will happen the Tuesday after each post for the quilt along releases. So every one of our posts will release on a Wednesday. The following Tuesday, I'll be choosing winners for the giveaways. And we're doing it a little bit different this time. We will have, instead of 1 winner, we're going to have 2 to 3 winners each week. So more chances to win. To be eligible to win these prizes, you have to post your progress of your quilt on Instagram using the hashtag HelloPosyQAL. The more you post, obviously, the more chances that I'm going to see your post and choose you as the winner. So just post as often as you like. You'll also need to be following all of our sponsors to win. If you go to the details post for this quilt along, which has all the information that I'm talking about today, by the way. It has the schedule for the quilt along. It has all the prizes listed out and all of our sponsors. But go to that sponsor section and follow every one of those sponsors. I've made it really easy for you to do. If you click their names, it goes straight to their Instagram, links right up, and you can just follow. So click, follow, click, follow, click, follow, all the way down that list. Make sure that you are eligible. Our sponsors, and I'm so grateful to them for sponsoring this quilt along. We have really, really good prizes this time. There's a lot of fabric being given away, a lot of PDF patterns. There's also I think the largest number of long arm sponsors I've had in a quilt along yet. So there's going to be several winners of long arm services. There's also a few sponsors who can only ship in the US though. So if you are international, you're going to be eligible for a lot of these giveaways, but just read that list because there's a few giveaways that you wouldn't be eligible for unless you could provide a US address. Okay, if you're already signed up for this quilt along, you'll receive an email every Wednesday that includes this week's post. It'll have your instructional video, it will have your task for each week, your tips, and all the prizes that we're going to give away that for that week. So if you're not signed up yet, you can do so. I'll put a link below that says sign up. So just click that, get yourself signed up, and then you'll start receiving those Wednesday posts. All right, so let's talk about bundles. There's also a discount from one sponsor or two sponsors maybe. Again, this is all in the details post. And they're providing a coupon code for fabric and bundles. At Meander and Make, my own fabric shop, we also have bundles available. So if you didn't want or didn't have time to choose your own fabrics and you just want to grab a bundle and get to sewing, we have a lot of choices over there. And I'm going to continue making more choices until we get to the Quilt Along. So you would just need to grab one of those bundles, and there's an option for a background to go with it in bundle form, in scrappy backgrounds or solid backgrounds. And if you click on any of those Hello Posy bundle listings and you click one of the backgrounds, it'll also show you what the quilt looks like with that bundle and with different backgrounds. So it's really fun to see this, and I encourage you to go and look at those bundles, even if you don't have intentions of purchasing one, because it really can give you some great inspiration and, you know, an idea for what to do with your quilt. All right, I think I've covered everything I wanted to talk about. We talked about the Quilt Along, prizes. Oh, one last thing. So making this quilt is a lot of fun on your own, but it's even more fun as a group with people that are making the exact same quilt as you. So don't forget to use that hashtag on Instagram to find other sponsors. You can do a search of the Hello Posy QAL hashtag and you can see everybody who's posting their blogs. Of course, this might not be there until the Quilt Along actually starts, but you can meet new friends and like and comment on each other's pictures of the blocks and the quilts, and connect that way. All right, I hope I didn't forget anything. If I did, please leave a comment, or you can hit the contact page and get a message to me. Otherwise, I will see you on August 3rd.